The gallery smelled like money and pretension. Sienna Hartley had learned to recognize the scent in her 3 years working Chicago's high-end art scene. Expensive cologne mixing with champagne and the particular musk of wealthy people congratulating themselves on their taste. She adjusted the tablet in her hands and made another note about the Rothko piece. Her boss, Gerald, wanted detailed observations on every potential buyer's reactions tonight. The opening was for a private collection, invitation only, which meant serious money walking through the doors. You look like you're taking attendance. Sienna glanced up at the man who'd appeared beside her. Mid-30s, tailored suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent, easy smile, handsome in that practiced way some men cultivated. Just doing my job, she said, returning her attention to the tablet. Which is? Making sure people like you have a wonderful experience. She kept her tone professional but cool. 3 years in this industry had taught her to spot the men who thought art consultants were part of the gallery's aesthetic offerings. People like me? He leaned against the wall, blocking her view of the Rothko. You don't even know me. I know the type. She shifted to see around him. Excuse me. He laughed. Actually laughed, head thrown back, genuine amusement lighting his features. That's refreshing. I'm David Castellane. The name meant nothing to her. She offered a polite smile. Sienna Hartley. Now, if you'll excuse me, have dinner with me. No, thank you. You didn't even think about it. I don't need to. She met his eyes directly. I'm working. And even if I weren't, the answer would still be no. David's smile widened. You're different. That's what every man says when a woman tells him no. Sienna moved past him, making another note on her tablet. The couple by the Basquiat were leaning in, whispering. Serious interest there. She felt David following her across the gallery floor. Persistent. She'd give him points for that, even if it was annoying. One drink, he tried again. Still no. You're breaking my heart. You'll survive. She paused by the sculpture installation, checking her watch. Gerald would want an update in 15 minutes. David opened his mouth to respond. Then something shifted in his expression. His easy confidence faltered, just slightly. His gaze had moved past her shoulder to somewhere near the gallery entrance. Sienna turned to look. The man standing in the doorway made every other person in the room look like they were playing dress-up. He didn't move, didn't need to. The space rearranged itself around him. Conversations stuttered. People shifted, creating a path without seeming to realize they were doing it. He was tall, dark-haired, probably late 30s. The suit was Italian, perfectly cut to shoulders that suggested he did more than sit behind a desk. But it was his face that caught her. Sharp angles, dark eyes that swept the room with the kind of assessment that missed nothing. Those eyes landed on her, held. Sienna felt the impact like a physical touch. Her breath caught before she could stop it. The man's gaze moved to David, still standing too close to her. Something flickered across his expression. Not anger, exactly. Colder than that. I should go, David said abruptly. What? Sienna looked at him, surprised by the sudden change. But David was already backing away, that easy smile gone. It was nice meeting you. He disappeared into the crowd before she could respond. Sienna frowned, looking back toward the entrance. The dark-haired man was moving now, and she realized he was walking directly toward her. People stepped aside without him asking. A woman touched his arm in greeting, and he acknowledged her with a slight nod, but didn't stop. He was coming for her. Her heart kicked against her ribs. Professional, she reminded herself. This was a client, a guest. She straightened her shoulders and arranged her expression into polite welcome. He stopped in front of her. Up close, he was even more striking. Dark eyes framed by darker lashes, a mouth that looked like it rarely smiled, and a presence that made her want to step back and lean closer at the same time. Sienna Hartley. His voice was low, accented. Italian, definitely. The way he said her name made it sound like something intimate. Yes. She managed to keep her voice steady. Can I help you with something? You work here. It wasn't a question, but she answered anyway. I'm an art consultant with the gallery, yes. How long? 3 years. She tilted her head slightly. I'm sorry. Have we met? No. He was still looking at her with that intense focus, like he was cataloging every detail. But I know Gerald. He didn't mention he had someone so beautiful working for him. The compliment should have sounded smooth, practiced. Instead, it came out like a statement of fact. Gerald has several consultants, Sienna said carefully. Are you interested in any particular pieces tonight? I'm interested in why David Castelain was making you uncomfortable. The directness of it caught her off guard. He wasn't. He was just persistent. He was bothering you. I had it handled. She met his eyes, refusing to be intimidated. I appreciate the concern, but I can manage overeager collectors. Something shifted in his expression. Not quite a smile, but close. Overeager collectors. Is that what you call them? Among other things. She glanced at her tablet. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. She started to move past him. His hand came up, not touching her but close enough that she stopped. The heat of him was palpable even through the space between them. What's your name? She asked, proud that her voice didn't shake. Dante Salvatore. The name hit her like cold water. She'd heard it before, whispered in the corners of gallery openings, mentioned in the society pages. Salvatore, one of Chicago's most prominent families, though the whispers suggested their wealth came from more than legitimate business. Mafia. The word hung unspoken between them. Mr. Salvatore. She took a careful breath. Is there something specific I can help you with tonight? Have dinner with me. The same request David had made, but it landed completely differently. This wasn't a question. It was an inevitability he was simply informing her about. I don't think that's appropriate, Sienna said. Why not? Because you're a client, and because I don't know you. You could get to know me? He shifted slightly closer. She caught his scent, something expensive and masculine that made her want to lean in. Over dinner. That's very kind, but no thank you. Kind. He repeated the word like it amused him. I'm not being kind, Sienna. The way he said her name again, with that slight emphasis, that accent wrapping around the syllables, it did something to her. Made her very aware of how close he was standing, how broad his shoulders were, how his dark eyes hadn't left her face since he'd approached. Then what are you being? She asked before she could stop herself. Interested. His gaze dropped to her mouth, then back to her eyes. Very interested. Heat crawled up her neck. She needed to move, to step back, to remember she was working, but her body wasn't cooperating. I'm flattered, she managed, but I don't date clients. I'm not a client yet. Are you planning to buy something tonight? That depends. His mouth curved slightly, almost a smile. What are you offering? The double meaning wasn't subtle. Sienna felt her face warm. Art, Mr. Salvatore. Just art. Dante. Excuse me? Call me Dante. He reached out, and this time he did touch her, just his fingers brushing the tablet she was holding. You've been watching everyone all night, taking notes. Who's interested in what? Who has money to spend? That's my job. You're good at it. His fingers lingered on the tablet's edge, close enough to her hand that she felt the warmth. You notice things, details most people miss. So do you, apparently. I notice what matters. His eyes held hers. And you matter, Sienna. The certainty in his voice should have been arrogant. Instead, it was simply true. Like he'd decided she mattered, and that made it fact. "You don't know me," she said, echoing her earlier words. "Not yet." He stepped back, giving her space she suddenly didn't want. "But I will." He pulled a card from his jacket pocket and held it out. Heavy cardstock, expensive. Just his name and a phone number. Sienna didn't take it. Dante's almost smile deepened. He tucked the card into the small gap between her tablet and her hand, his fingers brushing her skin deliberately. The touch lasted less than a second. It felt like lightning. "Think about dinner," he said. "I'll be waiting for your call." "I won't call." "You will." He started to turn, then paused. "And Sienna, if David Castelaine approaches you again, tell him no. Clearly. I already did. Tell him again." Something dangerous flickered in his eyes. "I don't share." Before she could respond to that audacious statement, he was gone, moving through the crowd with the same effortless command he'd entered with. Sienna stood frozen, her heart pounding, his card burning against her palm. She looked down at it. Just his name in simple black lettering. Dante Salvatore. She should throw it away, should forget this entire conversation, should definitely not think about the way he'd looked at her, like she was the only person in the room worth his attention. "Sienna?" Gerald's voice cut through her thoughts. She shoved the card into her pocket and turned to see her boss hurrying toward her, face flushed with excitement. "Did Dante Salvatore just talk to you?" "Briefly," she said carefully. "What did he want?" "To take me to dinner. To tell me I matter. To make my pulse race with just his voice." He was asking about the collection. She lied smoothly. Gerald beamed. "Perfect. If we can get the Salvatores interested, half of Chicago will follow. This could be huge." He gripped her arm. "Whatever he wants, make it happen. Understood?" Sienna nodded, not trusting her voice. As Gerald hurried off to schmooze another potential buyer, she pulled out her tablet and tried to focus on her notes, but her fingers kept drifting to her pocket, to the card resting there. Dante Salvatore had walked into the gallery and upended her entire evening in less than 10 minutes. And something told her that was exactly what he'd intended to do. Sienna made it 4 days before she called him. 4 days of finding his card in her pocket every time she reached for her phone. 4 days of Gerald asking if she'd heard from the Salvatore gentleman. 4 days of telling herself she was being ridiculous, that men like Dante Salvatore were dangerous in ways that had nothing to do with attraction. On the 5th morning, she woke up annoyed at herself and dialed the number before she could overthink it. He answered on the first ring. Sienna, not a question. He'd known it was her. Probably had her number saved already, which should have been concerning, but instead sent a small thrill through her. "This is a mistake," she said. "Good morning to you, too." She heard amusement in his voice. "And no, it's not. I haven't even told you why I'm calling. You're calling about dinner. The answer is yes." "That's not how invitations work," Sienna said, pacing her small apartment. "The person being invited is supposed to be the one who says yes. You already said yes when you dialed my number." A pause. "Tonight, 7 o'clock. I work until 6. Then 7:30. I'll pick you up." "I don't think you having my address is a good idea. I already have your address, Bella." Sienna stopped pacing. "Excuse me?" "You live on Parker Street, 3rd floor, the apartment with the blue door." Her heart kicked. How do you know that?" "I make it my business to know things." His tone didn't change, still casual, but there was steel underneath. "Especially about people who interest me." "That's textbook stalking, you know. That's being thorough." She heard movement on his end, like he was walking. 7:30. Wear something comfortable." "Where are we going?" Somewhere we can talk without interruption. Which told her exactly nothing. Sienna bit her lip, weighing her options. She could hang up, block his number, pretend this entire thing wasn't happening. Or she could admit that she'd spent 4 days thinking about dark eyes and an accent that made her name sound like poetry. "Fine," she said. 7:30. But I'm meeting you somewhere public. No. The flat refusal surprised her. No? I'm picking you up. We're having dinner. You'll be perfectly safe. A beat. From everyone except possibly me. The honesty of it caught her off guard. Should I be worried? Probably. He sounded like he was smiling. But you're going to come anyway. He was right, which annoyed her. 7:30. Don't be late. Wouldn't dream of it, Bella. She hung up before he could hear the way her breath had quickened. Dante arrived at 7:15. Sienna was still in her bedroom, standing in front of her closet in jeans and a bra, trying to figure out what comfortable meant in Dante Salvatore's world. The knock on her door made her jump. She grabbed a robe and went to the peephole. He stood in her hallway looking like he'd stepped out of a magazine. Dark jeans that probably cost more than her couch, a black Henley that did criminal things to his shoulders, leather jacket. Casual. Devastating. Sienna opened the door 6 inches, keeping the chain on. You're early. His gaze traveled down what he could see of her, robe, bare legs, bare feet, and heated. You're not ready. Because you're early. She didn't move to let him in. I said 7:30. I know what you said. He leaned against the door frame, completely at ease. Are you going to let me in? Are you going to tell me where we're going? My place. Sienna's hand tightened on the door. That's not a restaurant. No, it's better. He tilted his head slightly. I'm cooking for you. That surprised her enough that she loosened her grip on the door. You cook? You sound skeptical. I'm just trying to picture a mafia boss in an apron. His mouth curved. Not quite a smile, but close. Who told you I was mafia? No one had to tell me. I work in art. I hear things. She met his eyes through the gap. Should I be worried about that too? Depends what you heard. That the Salvatore family has interests in shipping, construction, and several other ventures that don't bear close examination. Accurate. He didn't seem bothered by it. Does it scare you? Sienna considered. It should, but it doesn't. I haven't decided yet. She studied him. Why me, Dante? Why not you? That's not an answer. Neither is standing here in your doorway. He straightened. Let me in, Sienna. I promise I'll behave. You don't seem like someone who behaves. I don't. His eyes held hers. But I keep my promises, and I promise you're safe with me. She shouldn't believe him, shouldn't trust him, definitely shouldn't open the door. She slid the chain free. Dante stepped inside, and her apartment immediately felt smaller. He took up space not just physically but energetically, his presence filling the room. He looked around, taking in her mismatched furniture, the art prints on her walls, the stack of exhibition catalogs on her coffee table. His gaze lingered on a photograph of her and her sister at Navy Pier. Family? He asked. My sister, Claire. She lives in Boston. He picked up the frame, studied it. You look alike. People say that. Sienna pulled the robe tighter. I need to finish getting ready. Take your time. He set the photo down carefully. I'm not going anywhere. She retreated to her bedroom, closed the door, and leaned against it. Her heart was racing. From fear or anticipation, she couldn't tell. Through the door, she heard him moving around her apartment, opening her refrigerator from the sound of it, making himself at home. The audacity should have annoyed her. Instead, it made her smile. She dressed quickly. Dark jeans, a soft sweater in deep green, ankle boots. Casual, but put together. She left her hair down, added minimal makeup, and checked herself in the mirror. Good enough for dinner with a man who'd researched where she lived. When she emerged, Dante was standing by her bookshelf, reading the spines. He looked up, and something flashed in his eyes. "Green suits you." "Thank you." She grabbed her purse. "Ready?" "Almost." He crossed to her in 3 strides, reached out, and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His fingers lingered against her cheek. "Now I'm ready." The touch was brief, but deliberate. A reminder that he could reach her, that the space between them was his to close whenever he wanted. Sienna's breath caught. "You said you'd behave." "I am behaving." His thumb brushed her jaw. "If I wasn't, you'd know." Then he stepped back, giving her space, and gestured to the door. His car was exactly what she'd expected. Sleek, black, expensive. A driver stood by the rear door. "This is Marco," Dante said. "He'll be taking us." Marco nodded politely, but didn't speak. He opened the door, and Dante waited for Sienna to slide in before following. The interior smelled like leather and Dante's cologne. He sat close enough that his thigh pressed against hers. "Your place," Sienna said, as the car pulled into traffic. "Is that code for something?" "It's code for my place." He shifted to look at her. "I have a chef who works for the family, but tonight I wanted privacy, so I sent him home." "Possessive much?" "Very." No hesitation. "I don't like sharing attention." "I'm not sure that's healthy." "Probably not." His hand found hers on the seat between them, fingers threading through hers. "But it's honest." Sienna looked down at their joined hands. His was larger, rougher, the hands of someone who did more than sign papers. She should pull away. She didn't. "Tell me about the gallery," Dante said. "How did you end up in art?" "College degree in art history, expensive taste, no trust fund." She shrugged. "The gallery job pays well, and I get to be around beautiful things." "You could do more than consult." "What do you mean?" "You're smart. Observant. You read people." His thumb stroked across her knuckles. "You could run your own gallery. Represent artists directly. That takes capital I don't have. Capital can be arranged." Sienna turned to look at him. "Are you offering to bankroll me?" "I'm saying if you wanted it, it could happen." "In exchange for what?" His mouth curved. "Why does there have to be an exchange?" "Because men like you don't give things away for free." "Men like me." He seemed amused. "What kind of man am I, Sienna?" "Dangerous, powerful, used to getting what you want." She met his eyes directly. "The kind of man who researches women before asking them to dinner." "Guilty on all counts." He didn't look remotely apologetic. "But you still got in my car." "Maybe I'm curious." "About me or about what I want?" "Both." The car slowed, turning into an underground garage. Sienna looked around, trying to orient herself. They were downtown, that much she could tell. Marco stopped the car and opened Dante's door. He climbed out, then offered his hand to help her. They took a private elevator to the top floor. Dante used a key card, and the doors opened directly into his penthouse. Sienna stepped inside and stopped. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Chicago skyline. The space was open, modern, all clean lines and expensive furniture. But what caught her attention were the paintings on the walls. Real paintings, not prints. She recognized a Modigliani, what looked like an early Rothko, several pieces she'd need closer examination to identify. "You actually collect," she said, moving toward the Modigliani. "You sound surprised." "Most people who buy at gallery openings are investing," not collecting. She studied the painting, taking in the brushwork. This is real appreciation. My mother's influence. Dante came to stand beside her. She believed beauty was worth preserving. The past tense registered. She passed? 5 years ago. Something shifted in his expression, gone too quickly to read. She would have liked you. You don't know that. Yes, I do. He touched the small of her back, guiding her toward the kitchen. She liked women with spine, women who didn't let my father intimidate them. Is your father intimidating? Extremely. He pulled out a stool at the kitchen island. Sit, I'll cook. Sienna sat, watching as he moved around the kitchen with easy competence. He pulled ingredients from the refrigerator, fresh pasta, tomatoes, basil, garlic. You're really cooking, she said. I told you I would. He found a knife, started chopping garlic. Why is that so hard to believe? Because you have people who do things for you. I have people who do business for me. He glanced at her. This isn't business. What is it? I'm cooking for a beautiful woman. He returned his attention to the garlic. That's personal. Sienna watched his hands work. Quick, efficient, confident. Everything he did seemed deliberate, purposeful. Tell me about David Castellane, Dante said. The abrupt shift surprised her. What about him? Has he contacted you since the gallery? No. Should he have? No. Dante's jaw tightened slightly. He shouldn't have approached you in the first place. He was just being friendly. He was being inappropriate. Dante set the knife down, turned to face her fully. David has a reputation. He pursues women aggressively, doesn't handle rejection well. I can handle myself. I know you can. He moved closer, standing between her knees where she sat on the stool. But you shouldn't have to. Sienna tilted her head back to maintain eye contact. So what? You scared him off? I made my interest clear. Your interest. In you. His hands came to rest on the counter on either side of her, caging her in without touching. I don't let go of things I want, Sienna. And I want you. Her pulse jumped. You don't know me. I'm learning. His gaze dropped to her mouth. You're stubborn. Independent. You don't trust easily. His eyes came back to hers. You're also attracted to me, even though you don't want to be. Confident. Observant. He leaned closer. Your breath changes when I'm near you. Your pupils dilate. You bite your lip when you're nervous. I'm not nervous. You're biting your lip right now. Sienna released her lip, annoyed that he was right. This is intense? He smiled slightly. Yes, it is. I was going to say fast. Would you prefer slow? His voice dropped lower. I can do slow, Bella. I can take my time. Learn every single thing that makes you shiver. He straightened, stepping back. But the end result will be the same. Which is, you. Mine. The certainty in his voice should have been arrogant. Instead, it was intoxicating. Sienna forced herself to breathe normally. You're very sure of yourself. I'm sure of what I want. He returned to the stove, adding ingredients to a pan. The smell of garlic and olive oil filled the kitchen. And I'm patient when it matters. But not patient with David Castellane. No. He stirred the sauce. Not with him. Why? Because he doesn't know how to value what he pursues. Dante glanced at her. He collects women like trophies, uses them, discards them. And you're different? Yes. No hesitation. I protect what's mine. There was that word again. Mine. Like she'd already agreed to belong to him. I'm not yours, Sienna said. Not yet. He plated the pasta, brought it to the island. But you will be. He poured wine, sat beside her, and they ate. The food was excellent, simple, but perfectly executed. They talked about art, about Chicago, about her sister in Boston. He asked questions that showed he was actually listening, not just waiting for his turn to speak. It would have been perfect if she could ignore the tension humming between them. The way his knee pressed against hers. The way his eyes tracked her movements when she reached for her wine glass. After dinner, he showed her the rest of his collection. They stood in front of a Caravaggio that probably cost more than she'd earn in her lifetime, and he told her about finding it in a private estate sale in Rome. "You have good taste," Sienna said. "I know what I want when I see it." He was looking at her, not the painting. Her phone buzzed in her purse. She pulled it out, glanced at the screen. Gerald, asking about the Salvatore account. "Work?" Dante asked. "My boss. He wants to know if you're planning to buy anything from the gallery." "Tell him yes." She looked up. "What do you want to buy?" "Whatever you recommend." He took the phone from her hand, set it on the nearby table. "But right now, I'm not thinking about art." "What are you thinking about?" "How much I want to kiss you." His hand came up, fingers trailing along her jaw. "How much I've wanted to since I saw you at the gallery." That was less than a week ago. Longest week of my life. His thumb brushed her lower lip. "Tell me no, Sienna. Tell me you don't want this." She should tell him this was too fast, too intense, too dangerous. She started. Her phone buzzed again. They both looked at it. A text message, visible on the screen. From David Castellane. "Hey, beautiful. Still thinking about you. Drinks this week?" Dante's expression went cold, absolutely cold. He picked up her phone, read the message fully, then looked at her. "How did he get your number?" "I don't know. Maybe from the gallery directory." "Block him." "Dante, block him, Sienna." His voice was quiet, controlled, dangerous. "Now." She took the phone, fingers hovering over the screen. "You can't just tell me what to do." "I can when it comes to men who don't understand boundaries." He moved closer. "Block him, or I'll handle it my way. Which is, you don't want to know." The certainty in his voice sent a chill through her. This was the other side of Dante Salvatore, the side that ran a criminal empire, that made men like David back away with just a look. "This is crazy," she said. "Yes." He didn't deny it. "Block him." Sienna blocked the number, then held up the phone. "Happy?" "Getting there." He took the phone, set it aside again. "Now, where were we?" "You were being possessive and controlling, and you were about to tell me you don't want me to kiss you." His hand returned to her face, tilting her chin up. "Except we both know that would be a lie." Her heart hammered. "You're very sure of yourself." "I'm sure of this." He leaned closer, his breath warm against her lips. "Tell me no, Bella. Last chance." Sienna didn't say no. His mouth claimed hers. The kiss wasn't gentle. Dante's hand slid into her hair, gripping, angling her head exactly where he wanted it. His mouth moved over hers with absolute certainty, claiming, demanding. Sienna's hands came up to his chest. Whether to push him away or pull him closer, she couldn't tell. He decided for her. His arm wrapped around her waist, pulling her flush against him, and she felt the hard planes of his body, the controlled strength in the way he held her. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. "That's what I thought," he said, voice rough. Sienna's fingers were twisted in his shirt. She forced herself to let go. "This is a bad idea." "Probably." He traced her swollen lower lip with his thumb. "Are you leaving?" She should. Should walk out, call a cab, pretend this entire evening hadn't happened. No, she whispered. His eyes darkened. Good. He kissed her again, slower this time, but no less intense. His hands mapped her body over her clothes, waist, hips, the curve of her back, learning her, claiming her. Sienna's phone buzzed again, and again. Dante broke the kiss, jaw tight. He grabbed the phone, glanced at the screen. It's Gerald, he said. 3 messages. Reality crashed back. Sienna took the phone, read the texts. Need to know about Salvatore ASAP. Big potential client. Sienna, are you still with him? Call me when you get this. Important. I should respond, she said. Tomorrow. Dante took the phone back, powered it off. Tonight, you're here. With me. No interruptions. You can't just turn off my phone. I just did. He set it on the table behind them, then cupped her face in both hands. I want your attention, Sienna. All of it. Not divided between me and work, and whatever else is in your head. That's not how the world works. It's how my world works. His thumb stroked her cheeks. When I want something, I don't accept half measures. I'm not something you can just decide to have. No. You're someone who's going to decide to be mine. He kissed her forehead, then stepped back. But not tonight. Tonight I'm taking you home. The shift confused her. What? I'm taking you home. He found his phone, texted someone. Marco will be here in 5 minutes. I don't understand. I know what I just did. He looked at her, and something in his expression made her breath catch. And if you stay, I'm going to do more than kiss you. Much more. And you're not ready for that. You don't get to decide what I'm ready for. Tonight I do. He retrieved her purse, handed it to her. Because when I take you to bed, Sienna, you're going to be sure. Not confused, not questioning. Sure. The certainty in his voice sent heat through her. And if I don't get there? You will. He guided her toward the elevator. But I can wait. In the car, he sat close but didn't touch her. The drive back to her apartment felt longer than the drive to his place. When Marco stopped in front of her building, Dante walked her to her door. Thank you for dinner, Sienna said, fumbling for her keys. He took them from her, unlocked her door, then handed them back. I'll see you tomorrow. I work tomorrow. I know. I'll pick you up at 6. Dante, 6 o'clock, Bella. He kissed her once, brief and possessive. Lock your door. Then he was gone, and Sienna was standing in her apartment, heart racing, lips still tingling from his kiss. She locked the door and leaned against it. What the hell was she doing? The next morning, Sienna's phone had 7 missed calls from Gerald and a text from Dante. Good morning, Bella. Sleep well? She hadn't. She'd spent half the night replaying the kiss, the other half telling herself she needed to end this before it went further. She called Gerald first. Finally, he said. I've been trying to reach you. I know. Sorry. My phone died. Did you have dinner with Salvatore? Yes. And? Gerald sounded eager. Is he interested in the gallery? He said he wants to buy something. He asked me to make a recommendation. Excellent. Excellent. Papers rustled on his end. What's your read on him? Is he serious or just browsing? He's serious. About more than art, but she didn't say that. He has an existing collection. He knows what he's looking at. Perfect. I want you to handle this personally. Whatever he wants, make it happen. Sienna closed her eyes. Gerald. This could be a major account, Sienna. The Salvatore family has deep pockets and connections throughout the city. If we establish a relationship with them, it opens doors. Doors to what? She wasn't sure she wanted to know. "I'll handle it," she said. After she hung up, she stared at Dante's text. She should tell him she couldn't see him tonight. That mixing business with whatever this was between them was a bad idea. Instead, she texted back, "Not really. You?" His response came immediately. "No. I was thinking about you." Her stomach flipped. "That's not helping." "Good. See you at 6. He picked her up at exactly 6 o'clock. This time he drove himself, a different car, still expensive but less conspicuous. He got out when he saw her, opened her door. "Where are we going?" Sienna asked as she slid in. "Family dinner." He closed her door, walked around, got in the driver's side. Sienna's head whipped toward him. "What?" "My mother's birthday would have been today." He pulled into traffic. "The family gathers every year. I want you there." "Dante, I can't just show up to a family dinner. You're not showing up. I'm bringing you." "That's not better." She twisted to face him. "Your family doesn't know me. They'll have questions." "Let them ask." "What am I supposed to say?" "Hi, I'm the woman your son is pursuing even though we met less than a week ago." "You can say you're with me." He glanced at her. "That's all they need to know." "This is crazy." "But you keep saying that." He reached over, took her hand. "But you keep getting in my car." Because she was apparently losing her mind. "How many people will be there?" 20, maybe 25. Aunts, uncles, cousins. My father, my sister. Your sister. Lucia. She's going to love you. You don't know that. Yes, I do." He lifted her hand, kissed her knuckles. "Stop worrying. Easy for you to say. They're your family. And soon they'll be used to seeing you with me." He said it like it was inevitable. Might as well start now. The restaurant was in Little Italy, unassuming from the outside. But when they walked in, the owner greeted Dante by name, led them to a private room in the back. The noise hit first, loud, overlapping conversations in English and Italian. Long tables pushed together, already crowded with people. Wine bottles everywhere, the smell of garlic and tomato sauce and fresh bread. Everyone looked up when they entered. Conversation stopped. Dante's hand settled on the small of Sienna's back, possessive and unmistakable. "Everyone," he said calmly. "This is Sienna." A woman who had to be his sister stood up, eyes wide. "You brought someone." "I did." Dante guided Sienna forward. "Sienna, my sister, Lucia." Lucia was beautiful. Dark hair, sharp eyes, assessing. She looked Sienna over once, then smiled. "Well, this is interesting." An older man at the head of the table set down his wine glass. Even seated, he radiated authority. Dante's father. "Introduce her properly," he said. "Sienna Laurent. She works in art consulting." Dante pulled out a chair for her. "Sienna, my father, Salvatore." "Mr. Salvatore." Sienna offered her hand. He took it, his grip firm. His eyes, the same dark eyes as Dante, studied her. "Art consulting." "Yes, sir. My son collects art. I know. He has excellent taste." The corner of his mouth twitched. "Does he?" "Papa," Dante said mildly. "Be nice. I'm always nice." Salvatore released her hand. "Sit. Eat. If you're here, you're family." The conversations resumed, though Sienna felt eyes on her throughout the meal. Lucia sat across from her, asking questions that seemed casual but weren't. "How did you meet my brother?" "A gallery opening." "And he asked you out?" "Eventually." "How long have you been seeing each other?" "Lucia," Dante said. "Interrogate her later." "I'm just curious." Lucia smiled at Sienna. "He's never brought anyone to family dinner before." Sienna looked at Dante. "Never." "Never," Lucia confirmed. "So you must be special." Heat crept up Sienna's neck. Dante's hand found her thigh under the table, squeezed. "She is," he said simply. An aunt, Carmela, Sienna learned, leaned forward. "You're not Italian." "No, ma'am. French background mostly." "French." Carmela exchanged looks with another aunt. "Well, that explains the cheekbones." "Zia," Dante said, "don't start. I'm complimenting her." Carmela waved a hand. "She's beautiful. You did well." Sienna didn't know whether to laugh or hide. Dante's hand stayed on her thigh, grounding. The food kept coming. Pasta, chicken, vegetables, bread. Wine flowed freely. Stories were told, most of them designed to embarrass Dante. Lucia contributed several, including one about him getting stuck in a tree at age 10. "He was trying to impress a girl," Lucia said. "Climbed up to get her cat. Cat climbed down on its own. Dante couldn't." "I was 10, Dante said. "You were showing off." Lucia grinned. Some things never change. Despite her nerves, Sienna found herself relaxing. The family was loud, chaotic, but warm. They teased each other mercilessly but with obvious affection. Salvatore watched from the head of the table, saying little but missing nothing. After dinner, people mingled. Lucia cornered Sienna near the dessert table. "So," she said, "what are your intentions with my brother?" Sienna blinked. "Shouldn't I be asking you that?" "No, because his intentions are obvious." Lucia picked up a cannoli. "He's already decided you're his. The question is whether you're going to run or stay." "That's direct." "I don't see the point in being subtle." Lucia took a bite, studied her. "You seem smart, capable, not easily intimidated." "Should I be intimidated?" "By Dante?" "No. He's protective, possessive, intense. But he's not cruel." Lucia's expression grew serious. "By our world? Maybe. We're not a normal family, Sienna. You know that, right?" "I've figured it out." "And you're still here." "I'm still here," Sienna agreed. "Good." Lucia smiled. "I like you. Don't break his heart." "I don't think his heart is the one in danger." "Then you're not paying attention." Lucia glanced across the room to where Dante stood talking to his father. "He looks at you like you're already his whole world. That's dangerous for a man like him." Before Sienna could respond, raised voices cut through the conversation. Two men had entered the private room, uninvited, from the way everyone tensed. One of them was David Castellane. Sienna's stomach dropped. David's eyes found her immediately. His expression hardened when he saw her standing next to Lucia, clearly part of the family gathering. "Dante," he said loudly, "we need to talk." The room went silent. Dante turned slowly. When he saw David, something cold and lethal crossed his face. "You're not invited, Castellane." "And she is?" David gestured at Sienna. "You move fast. Get out." Dante's voice was quiet, deadly. "Not until we discuss the shipping contract you killed." David moved closer. "You tanked my deal out of spite." "I tanked your deal because you're unreliable." Dante stepped between David and Sienna. "And because you don't know when to back off." "This is about her?" David laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You're sabotaging my business over a woman you barely know?" "I'm protecting my interests." Dante's hands were relaxed at his sides, but Sienna saw the tension in his shoulders. "She's mine. You contacted her after I made that clear. That was a mistake." "Yours?" David's gaze cut to Sienna. "Does she know you're claiming ownership? Or is she just another piece in your collection?" Sienna stepped forward before she could think better of it. "I can speak for myself." "Sienna," Dante said. "Don't." "No." He asked me a question. She looked at David. "I'm not a piece in anyone's collection, and I'm not interested in you. I wasn't at the gallery and I'm not now. Dante didn't have to tell you that. I'm telling you. David's jaw tightened. You don't know what you're getting into with him. Maybe not, but that's my choice. Is it? Or did he make it for you? David's attention returned to Dante. You always take what you want. Doesn't matter who it hurts. You're right. Dante's voice dropped lower. I do take what I want, and I don't let go. So I'm going to say this once more. Get out. Don't contact her. Don't look at her. Don't think about her. Because if you do, what I did to your shipping contract will seem gentle. You threatening me, Salvatore? I'm making a promise. The man who'd come in with David, security, Sienna realized, put a hand on David's arm. We should go. David shook him off but stepped back. His eyes found Sienna one more time. When you figure out what he really is, don't say I didn't warn you. Then he left. The room stayed silent for a long moment. Salvatore stood. Dante, my office, now. It wasn't a request. Dante's jaw clenched, but he nodded. He looked at Sienna. Wait here. Dante, wait here. He kissed her forehead, then followed his father out. Lucia appeared at Sienna's side. Well, that was dramatic. What just happened? David Castellane just made an enemy he can't afford. Lucia steered her toward a chair. Sit, have wine. This might take a while. Your father's angry. My father's assessing. Lucia poured wine, handed her a glass. Dante made a business decision based on personal feelings. Papa needs to know if it's going to be a pattern. Because of me. Because of you, Lucia confirmed. Welcome to the family, Sienna. It's going to be complicated. Sienna's hands shook as she lifted the wine glass. Across the room, aunts and uncles had resumed talking, but she felt their glances. Assessing. Wondering if she was worth the trouble she'd just caused. She wondered the same thing. Dante returned 20 minutes later. His expression was carefully neutral, but Sienna saw the tension in his shoulders. He held out his hand. Let's go. She took it, let him guide her through the farewells. Lucia hugged her, actually hugged her, and whispered, Call me if you need anything. Salvatore caught Dante's arm at the door. You know what you're doing? Yes. Then do it right. His eyes shifted to Sienna. Good night, Miss Laurent. Good night, Mr. Salvatore. In the car, Dante drove in silence. Not toward her apartment, she realized. Toward his building. What did your father say? She asked. That mixing business with personal life is dangerous. He's right. I know. He glanced at her. I don't care. Dante. David's contract wasn't the first deal I've killed for personal reasons. It won't be the last. His hand found hers. My father understands that. He did the same for my mother. That doesn't make it smart. No, it makes it necessary. He pulled into his building's garage. I protect what's mine, Sienna. That includes you. I'm not yours. He cut the engine, turned to face her. Aren't you? Her breath caught at the intensity in his eyes. This is happening too fast. So slow it down. He traced her jaw with his fingertips. Tell me to take you home. Tell me you don't want this. She should. Should end this before it became more complicated. I can't, she whispered. Then come upstairs. He leaned closer, his breath warm against her lips. And stop fighting what we both know is going to happen. The elevator ride felt endless. Dante stood close, not touching her. But she felt the heat of him. The certainty. Inside his penthouse, he poured wine, handed her a glass. You don't have to stay, he said. You just told me to come upstairs. I did. But if you're not sure... I'm terrified, she interrupted. Your family just met me. Your business rival just confronted you because of me. I've known you less than a week, and you're talking about me like I'm already yours. This is insane. Yes. That's your response? Yes? What do you want me to say? He set down his wine, moved closer. That I'll slow down? Take it easy? Pretend I don't want you in my bed, in my life, in my world? Maybe. I don't lie, Bella. Not to you. He cupped her face. I want all of you. Your time, your attention, your body, your future. And I'm not patient enough to wait months to make that clear. That's not normal. I'm not normal. His thumb brushed her lower lip. But you already knew that. She had. From the moment he'd looked at her across that gallery, she'd known he was dangerous. Intense. Consuming. And she'd walk toward him anyway. If I do this, she said slowly, I need to know it's real. Not just attraction or possession or whatever this is between us. It's real. He kissed her forehead, her temple, the corner of her mouth. I don't bring women to family dinners. I don't introduce them to my father. I don't rearrange my schedule to see them every night. You've done all that for me. Because you're different. He pulled back enough to meet her eyes. Because the moment I saw you, I knew. Knew what? That I was going to keep you. The certainty in his voice should have scared her. Instead, it sent heat through her entire body. I'm not a possession, she managed. No, you're the woman I'm going to marry. He said it casually, like he was commenting on the weather. But we can work up to that. Her heart stopped. Dante, too much? He smiled slightly. Fair enough. Let's start with tonight. He kissed her before she could respond. Slow and deep, his hands sliding into her hair, angling her head, taking his time. When he pulled back, they were both breathing hard. Bedroom, he said, unless you want the couch. Bedroom. He lifted her, just picked her up like she weighed nothing, and carried her down the hall. The bed was massive, covered in dark sheets. He set her down on the edge, stepped back. Tell me what you want, he said. You. More specific. Heat flooded her cheeks. I want you to stop talking and touch me. His eyes darkened. Better. He kissed her again, backing her up the bed until she was lying down, him over her. His weight, his heat, the controlled strength in the way he moved. His hands mapped her body, waist, hips, thighs, learning every curve. You have too many clothes on, he murmured against her throat. So do you. He sat back, pulled off his shirt in one smooth motion. Sienna's breath caught at the sight of him. Defined muscles, a few scars she wanted to ask about later. He reached for her blouse, paused. Tell me to stop if you need to. I won't need to. Good. He unbuttoned her blouse slowly, kissed every inch of skin he revealed. When he reached her bra, he traced the edge with his fingers. Beautiful. Dante. Patience. He kissed the swell of her breast, then lower, his hands working her skirt down her hips. When they were both down to underwear, he paused again, looking at her. What? She asked, memorizing this. His hand traced from her collarbone down between her breasts, over her stomach. You, here, mine. Possessive much? You have no idea. He leaned down, kissed her deeply. His hand slid behind her back, unhooked her bra. But you're about to find out. The rest of their clothes disappeared, his hands, his mouth, everywhere. Learning what made her gasp, what made her arch into him. When he settled between her thighs, his eyes locked on hers. Look at me, he commanded. She did. Couldn't look away. Mine, he said again. Then he moved, and the world narrowed to just them. Heat and need, and the overwhelming certainty that nothing would be the same after this. Dante, I know. His hand gripped her hip, controlling the pace. I've got you. She believed him. Sienna woke to sunlight and soreness. She was sprawled across Dante's chest, his arm wrapped around her waist. The sheets were half on the floor. Her hair was a tangled mess, and when she shifted, everything ached. Good morning, Dante said. His voice was rough with sleep and satisfaction. What time is it? Early. He traced patterns on her bare back. How do you feel? Sore. Good. He sounded entirely too pleased about that. Sienna pushed up to look at him. Good? Means you'll remember. His hand slid up to cup the back of her neck, pulled her down for a kiss. Every time you move today, you'll think about last night. Heat flooded her face. You're smug. I'm satisfied. He rolled, pinning her beneath him. And not nearly done with you. Dante, I can't. Not now. He kissed her throat, and she felt him smile against her skin. But later. When he pulled back, his eyes traced her neck, her collarbone. You mark beautifully. Sienna's hand flew to her throat. What? Here. He traced a spot just below her ear. And here, lower, on her collarbone. And definitely here. His hand skimmed down to her hip. Dante. What? I like seeing my marks on you. He caught her hand before she could cover herself. Don't hide them. I have to go to work. Call in sick. I can't call in sick because you gave me hickeys. Then wear them. He kissed the mark on her collarbone. Let everyone know you're taken. You're impossible. You like it. He got up, completely unself-conscious about his nakedness. Sienna saw the scratches on his back and shoulders. Her nails, she realized with embarrassment. He caught her looking, glanced over his shoulder. Fair trade. I didn't mean to. I did. He pulled on pants, tossed her his shirt. Wear this. Your blouse has buttons missing. She remembered him ripping it open, his impatience. Heat crept up her neck. In the bathroom mirror, she assessed the damage. 3 visible marks on her neck and collarbone. Her lips were swollen. Her hair was impossible. She looked thoroughly claimed. Dante appeared behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. Beautiful. I look like I got attacked. You look like you got worshipped. He kissed the mark below her ear. Which you did. Despite everything, she smiled. Your ego is showing. My satisfaction is showing. He turned her to face him. Stay. I'll make breakfast. I really do have to work. Then I'll drive you home. You'll change, and I'll drive you to the gallery. Dante, I'm not letting you out of my sight yet. His expression grew serious. David showed up last night. Until I'm sure he's not going to be a problem. You're staying close. You think he'd actually do something? I think he's angry and humiliated. That makes people unpredictable. His hands tightened on her waist. So humor me. She should argue. Should insist she could take care of herself. But the protectiveness in his eyes made her chest tight. Okay, she said. That easy? Don't get used to it. He smiled, kissed her. Too late. 3 weeks later, Sienna sat in Dante's kitchen while Lucia talked at her about wedding planning. Not my wedding, Lucia clarified. My cousin Teresa's. But you should come. You'll meet everyone. I've already met everyone, Sienna said. At your father's birthday dinner. And the Sunday lunch. And the... You're part of the family now. Lucia waved a hand. That means all the events. Forever. Get used to it. Dante walked in, kissed the top of Sienna's head. What are you terrorizing her about? Teresa's wedding. She needs a date. She has a date. Dante poured coffee. Me. Obviously. Lucia rolled her eyes. I'm just making sure she knows what she's signing up for. 4-hour ceremony, terrible DJ, Aunt Carmela's commentary on everyone's life choices. Sounds delightful, Sienna said dryly. It will be. Dante sat next to her, his hand finding her thigh under the table. Because you'll be there. The casual possessiveness still sent heat through her. 3 weeks, and she still wasn't used to it. Wasn't sure she'd ever be used to it. But she'd stopped fighting it. I should go, Lucia said, standing. I have a meeting. Sienna, lunch on Thursday? I'll check my schedule. That's a yes. Lucia kissed her cheek, then Dante's. Be good to her, Fratello. Always. When they were alone, Dante pulled Sienna into his lap. How's your morning? Busy. I have 3 client meetings and a shipment coming in from Milan. Cancel them. Dante, I'm kidding. He kissed her throat. Mostly. What time are you done? 6, probably. I'll pick you up. We're having dinner with my father. Again? He likes you. Dante's hand traced patterns on her hip. He's also vetting you. For what? For me, for the family, for the long term. He met her eyes. He wants to make sure you're staying. Her heart skipped. And what did you tell him? That you are. He said it with absolute certainty. That I'm keeping you. You can't just keep me. Watch me. He kissed her, slow and deep. When he pulled back, his eyes were serious. Move in with me. Sienna's breath caught. What? Move in. You're here most nights anyway. Your apartment is too small. You hate the commute. Those are terrible reasons to move in together. Fine. Move in because I want to wake up with you every morning. Because I want your things in my space. Because I'm tired of watching you leave. His hand cupped her face. Because I love you, and I want you here. The world tilted. You love me, she repeated. Yes. You're sure? Sienna. He smiled slightly. I was sure the night I met you. I've just been waiting for you to catch up. Tears pricked her eyes. That's not fair. What's not fair? Saying it like that, making it sound so simple. It is simple. He wiped away a tear with his thumb. I love you. You love me. Everything else is just details. I do, she whispered. Love you, even though you're intense and possessive and completely overwhelming. Good. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her mouth. So move in with me. Okay. Okay? Yes. Okay. I'll move in with you. She laughed at his expression. Don't look so surprised. You've been steamrolling me since we met. Why stop now? Not steamrolling. Pursuing. Semantics. Important distinction. He stood, lifting her with him. We should celebrate. I have to go to work. You have an hour. He was already walking toward the bedroom. I can do a lot in an hour. Dante, stop talking. He set her on the bed, covered her body with his. And let me show you exactly how much I love you. She stopped talking. 6 months later, at Teresa's wedding, Dante's hand stayed on Sienna's back as they navigated the crowded reception. See? Lucia appeared with champagne. Terrible DJ. I told you. It's not that bad, Sienna said. You're being polite. It's awful. Lucia handed her a glass. But the food's good, and the company's tolerable. Dante's father approached, his expression unreadable. Sienna, a word. Dante tensed, but Salvatore waved him off. Alone. They walked to a quieter corner. Salvatore studied her for a long moment. You're good for him, he finally said. Thank you. He's different since you. Calmer, more focused. He paused. Happier. I'm glad. Are you happy? The directness surprised her. Yes. Even knowing what this family is, what he is. I know what he is, Sienna said quietly. I love him anyway. Salvatore nodded slowly. Then you should have this. He pulled out a small velvet box. It was my wife's, Dante's mother. She would have wanted you to have it. Sienna's hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a ring. Vintage, beautiful, clearly valuable. Mr. Salvatore, I can't. You can. You will. He closed her hands around the box. He's going to ask you soon. When he does, wear this. It'll mean something to him. Tears blurred her vision. Thank you. Welcome to the family, Sienna. He kissed her cheek, then walked away. Dante found her moments later. What did he say? She showed him the box. His expression shifted. Surprise, then something deeper. He opened it, stared at the ring. He gave you my mother's ring, he said quietly. He said I should wear it, when you ask. Dante looked at her, and she saw everything in his eyes. Love. Certainty. Future. I was going to wait, he said. Make it romantic. Plan something elaborate. But I don't want to wait. He took the ring from the box, dropped to one knee right there in the middle of his cousin's wedding reception. Dante, marry me, Sienna. His voice was steady, sure. Move through life with me. Build a family with me. Let me love you for the rest of our lives. Everyone was staring. The terrible DJ had stopped the music. Lucia was crying. Sienna didn't care. Yes, she said. Yes, I'll marry you. He slid the ring onto her finger, stood, and kissed her deeply. Around them, the family erupted in cheers and applause. When he pulled back, he was smiling. Mine. Yours, she agreed. Forever. Forever, he repeated. I liked the sound of that. So did she. If you enjoyed Dante and Sienna's story, subscribe to Mafia Tales for more dangerous romances where powerful men meet their match. Join our members area for exclusive extended scenes and early access to new stories.